Okay, so thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me. Before we get started, I just want to go over this consent form that you signed, basically stating just the limits of confidentiality that we have during this session. Essentially, because I'm a student working with you right now, I do have to report to a supervisor. But outside of that, I'm going to be following all of the standard state regulations concerning confidentiality, which basically means that everything that you tell me in this session is going to be kept between us unless you are talking about harming yourself or someone else. Those are the instances in which I would have to be a mandated reporter. But other than that, we are good to go. So, yeah, what would you like to talk about today?
Well, I just felt like I needed to talk with somebody about the fact that I'm having a lot of anxiety since I returned from living abroad for a year. While I was living in another country, I had many of my um, core beliefs pertaining to particularly like religious beliefs I held and gender identity beliefs I held for most of my life, having grown up in a Christian context, Christian church context. While living abroad, I just encountered a lot of women who didn't hold the same beliefs that I had been taught here. And it really opened my mind to the fact that I had been wrong. And now I've returned back to the state that I left 1 year ago. And I am going to be seeing many of my old friends. And I am quite different in my views and my beliefs. And I just have anxiety about how that's going to impact our friendship.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing all that. And yeah, it sounds to me like you have experienced something really hard just with that big move and having to readjust to a life that was totally different than anything that you had known before, being outside of your culture, and having to make new friends, having to explore a lot of these deeply seated beliefs that you had about your gender and about your faith, which are very big parts of your identity. Um, so coming back into, I'm sure there's a little bit of, um, yeah, even just sorting that's still going on and coming home. But then it makes so much sense that you are feeling anxiety about anything in future, just moving forward with friendships and trying to not lose the ground that you've covered and the work that you've done in reflecting while you were away. Um, and that maybe it would like having fears about that being difficult. Um, and could you give me like a specific example maybe to help kind of clarify what gender identity and spiritual beliefs you explored or felt challenged while you were away?
Yeah, I think having grown up in the South and in kind of a conservative Christian circle my whole life, there were there were statements made about women's roles in marriage, and there were statements and doctrines taught about women's roles and like which positions could be held in the church. During my time in New Zealand, I participated in the Anglican Church, and their entire view of women and their belief systems are so different, and they elevate women wonderfully and allow them to participate in every role the church setting, and they certainly view marriage as much more of a partnership rather than like wives submit to their husbands in big decisions and things. And so I think I began to see that that was a much more healthy view of women, and that it was important that I return and advocate for women in that way. And yet it's not a popular view here, and it certainly isn't a popular view among many of my relationships that I still value greatly.
Mhm.
And so I can't be silent about it, but it's going to cause some conflict for sure. And it just
Yeah,
makes me anxious.
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with me today and being willing to allow me to practice my skills here. I hope that moving forward, you are able to build friendships and continue to maintain these um, this new system of values that you feel is more true to your identity and that feels more helpful just in living life, living a full life. But thank you again.
Thank
and
you.
I hope you have a good rest of your day.